Welcome to the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast, brought to you by GuitarZoom.com. If you want to improve your guitar playing, keep listening. If you want to improve even faster, go to GuitarZoom.com, where you'll find all of Steve's premium courses, masterclasses, and memberships that'll help you quickly and easily improve your playing. Now here's your host, Steve Stine.
Okay, in this lesson, what we're going to be doing is trying to look at how to maybe visualize your fretboard a little bit differently. Let's say you were doing something where you're using some blues or some pentatonic or something like that. And what I want to help you with is one of the most important things to learn how to do is to re-envision your fretboard or re-visualize your fretboard. And so what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to take a simple A minor pentatonic idea and I'm going to show you how I expand it in my head and with my fingers. And maybe that will give you some more creative ideas as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be an A minor pentatonic, but I'm actually going to be starting up on the fourth position. So I'm going to be kind of combining the third and fourth positions, and even that in itself is really important, is to teach yourself to break out of just always playing like in the first position every time you do something. You know, you go to, if you're an A, you go to the fifth fret. There's a lot of great stuff you can do there, no doubt about it, but we're going to try and break out of that a little bit and look for something a little different. So what I'm going to do is come up here to the fourth position, which is at the 12th fret. I'm going to play 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, 14, 12, 14, 13, 15, and then 12, 15. Now, that position in itself is just fine. You know, I hear a lot of Stairway to Heaven in that position and that kind of soloing. So there's some really good stuff there, but let's expand that a little bit and start trying to think of some other things that we can do. So one thing that I'll do, of course, is start adding in some blues notes, right? So if I know where my A is, I can go 1, 2, 3 notes up the pentatonic, and that's where my blues note's going to be. But more importantly, it's right there, and that's really important for me because I'll use that note. I'll either slide to it, or maybe I'll use it in a sequence. You see, where I'll play it with other notes of this pentatonic. Now, the next thing I want you to notice is how I have a tendency of dropping down into what we'll call the third position. And I like to do that instead of playing, because this sounds so blocky to me, where if I can go, see, now I can use that little thing right here, little slides and things like that I can do with this position that I couldn't when I was sitting here. You know, it's hard to make that sound very musical, other than, you know, that sort of thing. But if I use this little extension down here, it actually sounds quite nice. Okay, so so that's one thing that you can do. So we've got the blues note that we've added in, and also not only the blues note itself, but how we're playing it, right? We might be playing it in conjunction with other notes, but we might also just be using it, for instance, as a nice little subtle slide. Okay?
If you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, go to GuitarZoom.com and consider becoming a premium member. There are 3 memberships to choose from. VIP, which gives you instant access to a library of short but powerful courses as well as new bite-sized lessons each month. There's also Play Songs that gives you step-by-step lessons so you can learn to play your favorite songs fast. And finally, there's Masterclass, university-level training on everything from soloing to music theory, from blues to home recording. For more info about these memberships and all the premium courses available to you, go to GuitarZoom.com. Now back to the podcast.
Well, now I'm going to take from where I'm at right now and I'm going to expand from here. So here's something that I enjoy doing. I'll play from this A, and I'm going to play like this. Now, what I've done is I'm playing the fourth position, if you will. Excuse me, third position. Adding that blues note in. Now that note is just that note, right? That's still pentatonic, but this note is new. This is an unusual note. It's just a passing note that I'm adding in, which is connecting to this. So it's basically making a 12, 13, 14, just like I did there with the blues note. And I'll do different things with that little shape there as I'm playing. And then what I'll do is for here, down in this little block that I got down here, I'll use that major third. So I have... So let's say I'm doing more of a Jimmy Page kind of thing up here. And then I build back up. And then slide back into this position. You see, so there's lots of really great things that you can do. It's not about learning all the stuff that I'm doing right now, although you certainly could cop one of these licks and use it in your playing. What I want you to be aware of is how I'm thinking about where I'm placing these things, not the fact that, you know, well, in mathematics, all these things exist all over the fretboard. That might be true. But depending on how they feel when I'm playing them, if I reconfigure some of the things I'm doing into a different position, I play them differently and I come up with different ideas, which is half the battle here when you're learning how to play guitar. So I want you to think about that a little bit, moving from here, adding that blues note in. Whoops, sorry. That little lower extension here. And then this new build coming up this third position. And just how you could take this. So I can slide from that idea of this third position into something in the fourth position. Now I'm going to top this off with something else here. I'm going to go to the top of this position, this third position. And I'm going to do something a little more unique here too. So I'm going to use this. So I'm using 10 and 11, and notice the 11 is just kind of a passing note. And then I'm heading over here to this 13, which is pentatonic. Okay. And then I follow that up with those notes right there, 11 and 12. Now again, that 11 really has no purpose of being there other than it's just a passing note. I'm just exploring colors and sounds with notes. But see how that uniqueness of that 11, I'm not trying to oversell the sound of that 11. I'm just using it in conjunction with the 12. So it resolves right away, but then I'm not done. I'm re-resolving it to, I say re, because the note's right there, there's A, but I'm also redoing it again. See how I can combine all of those elements together. So I've got this regular pentatonic, maybe with the blues note or whatever, this lower extension, this build upward, and then this build downward. You can just come up with a ton of different really great ideas inside there. So again, take some time with it. Don't just look at the tab and try and, figure out everything that I'm doing, because I don't even really know what I'm playing. I'm just screwing around here. But if you find something in there that's kind of unique to you and it sounds interesting and it seems like something that you could use, stop any video that you're doing, take that idea out, start messing with it, and see if you can make it a part of your playing, something that you can actually, that kind of melds into, what it is that you already do. That's what you're always looking for, is even if it's just something as simple as that, but something that you can use in your playing. Next time on the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start off this whole thing with is a technique that I call meandering. And the reason is if you think about, as guitar players, when we learn scales, we learn what we learn is great. But the downside to doing what we do is that we practice the way our instructor or the way the video tells us, and so we're actually doing the right thing, but we're not being creative. So if you think about it this way, like if I was to take a scale, let's say I was just going to take G minor pentatonic, right? So I take G minor pentatonic, and I'm taught to practice going up and down that scale, right? And I might do some other exercises or whatever. So I'm training myself to visualize that and to play that scale, but I really am training myself to play it straight up and down. And that's not wrong. It's just it's not training me to do anything creative with it. Hey, Steve Stine here from GuitarZoom.com, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, can I ask you a favor? Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your feedback means more to me than you'll ever know. And be sure to check out my YouTube channels where you'll find over 1,000 videos to help you with your guitar playing. Thanks again for listening. Stay positive, keep playing, and keep having fun.
If you'd like some help with your guitar playing but you're not sure how to get started, go to GuitarZoom.com and look for the Help Me Choose survey. By answering a few simple questions, you'll get Steve's personal recommendation of the perfect course for you. All this and more is available for you at GuitarZoom.com.